Welcome back to another episode of Insta360 ONE X2 review and tutorial. Today, we focus on the low light performance of the Insta360 ONE X2 and compare it with all the other 360 camera, including Insta360 One R, GoPro MAX, Qoocam 8K, and the Ricoh Theta Z1 for 360 photo comparison. We will find out why the official Insta360 AI effects remove grains is bad for your low-light video, and what is the correct workflow of removing small sensor digital noise with both Adobe Premiere Pro and Davinci Resolve, my secret weapon to get very clean low-light footage in ISO 800 to even ISO 1000 on the One X2. To educate you about the problems and challenges in low-light VR filmmaking, I will go one step further to explore moving 360 and Flowstate stabilization, why low shutter speed will create a blurry low-light footage, and how to use vibration dampers right here to avoid this problem. We will show you the result from professional camera like the Insta360 Titan, Qoocam 8K Enterprise, and even the brand new Teche 360 Anywhere. Compare it to One X2 moving 360 result in extreme low light conditions. At the end of this tutorial, I will share some best practices for filming VR at nighttime, how to add light and what light to add to make your 360 footage look more cinematic. My goal of this video is to give you the knowledge and superpower to film better low light 360, both photo and 360 video. If you are ready to up your skill, let's go! Hey, what's up everybody? It's your boy Hugh here from Creator Up, the YouTube channel dedicated to 360 and immersive video for everyone. The original goal of this video is to review the Insta360 ONE X2 in low light, but there is a huge knowledge gap there in low light 360 filmmaking from all the feedbacks I gather. And the wrong information on the internet confused the heck out of both the clients and the filmmakers. So I want to set the expectation and then share some best practices in both filming on set and noise removal in post-production. If your client expects a Sony A7S or Canon R5 low-light result in 360 video, the answer is practically impossible. None of these small sensor camera, including the Qoocam 8K, can shoot in ISO higher than 800. Our goal is to find out which camera can do a reasonably good result that we can use lighting and post-production magic to compensate. Even the best camera like RE Alexa or Red needs lighting in low light. 360 camera actually require a lot more light.
But wait a minute, Hugh. 360 cameras see everything. How can you add light on set?
Yes, that's correct. We will cover that in this tutorial as well. Okay, let's find out if the Insta360 ONE X2 is a good choice for low light 360 videos and photos. In order to see the result, we put it against Insta360 One R, GoPro MAX, Qoocam 8K, and Ricoh Theta Z1. Later on, we mount the Insta360 ONE X2 on a moving car and compare it to Qoocam 8K Enterprise, Teche 360 Anywhere, and even the $15,000 Insta360 Titan. Here, from left to right, we have One X2 with AI remove noise, One R with AR remove noise, GoPro MAX, and Qoocam 8K. They are all in ISO 800 and shutter speed 1/60, shooting in 30 frames per second. Here is a very important tip. Always shoot in manual exposure mode in low light. You don't want your shutter speed slower than 1/60 seconds. If you are moving your camera, I will even go up to 1/100 or 1/120 to remove motion blur and jitter. Keep the ISO in 800 is risky, but a good number of testing out the noise profile of all this camera. As you see here, ISO 800, Qoocam 8K still look really dark than Insta360 One R, then GoPro MAX, then ONE X2 is the brightest of all. You can see more detail in ONE X2, but GoPro MAX has the best highlight result in my opinion. You can clearly see that in the light up pumpkin behind our model kitty. I suspect GoPro MAX has the least amount of compression in the ISP level and a better lens. GoPro having their own ISP chips does give them the advantage in image processing. Also, GoPro allow you to turn the ISP sharpening all the way down, so the result looks softer than all the other cameras. In return, a better highlight falls off and a more natural image. This is good if you are going to do denoising and resharpening in post-production. You really can't see this until you do a side-by-side comparison. That is why you should consider subscribing to Creator Up and sharing this video so more people can see a fair result instead of blindly listen to marketing or unfair reviews. Let's now zoom in 200% to see the noise in the shadow. Now we see a huge problem in both ONE X2 and One R footage. The ground looks wavy and moving unnaturally. It's like you are looking through a heat wave or mirage. This is a very common artifact caused by aggressive and bad denoising. In neat video, which I mentioned in this tutorial, is the jitters in detail problem. The noise looked a lot more natural in GoPro MAX. In Qoocam 8K, because of bigger sensor size and higher 8K resolution in 10-bit color, the noise is not noticeable at all. But Qoocam 8K looks really soft in the mid-tone area, which is a commonly known problem already among Qoocam users. The good news is, for ONE X2 and One R, the problem is not the camera itself, but the AI effects remove grains during the rendering process. Insta360 wants to remove noise automatically for us in post-production, but did a really bad job, which is understandable as Insta360 Studio is not a professional editing software like Adobe Premiere or Davinci Resolve. If you see the side-by-side result between with and without the AI remove grains, you see the digital noise in without AI looks a lot more natural. Yes, it is crazy high noise in ISO 800, but don't worry. If you run a denoising pass professionally in Davinci Resolve or neat video, then you see the end result look 100 times better. So, in conclusion, if you want the best low-light ONE X2 or One R video, do not use the AI effects remove grains. Also, it will be best if you render in ProRes instead of H.265 or H.264 to minimize compression artifacts. So, in my professional opinion, all four cameras look bad in ISO 800 without light. So, how can you improve the footage? Well, you need some post-production magic. I already made an in-depth tutorial on how to use neat video inside Adobe Premiere to remove noise, light flickers, and jitter. So please follow this tutorial step by step if you are using Adobe Premiere to edit 360 video. Here is how you do that in Davinci Resolve. If you have a paid license of Resolve, you don't need a third-party plugin like Neat Video. The native Resolve noise removal is really good. Let me show you now. Let's play the video. If you pay attention, right here in the shadow, we see noticeable chroma noise. Chroma noise is color noise, by the way. So let's fix it by going to this tab right here, the motion effects. In temporal NR, we use frames 3. It basically means Resolve will look forward and backward 3 frames to identify the noise. 5 will be too much for your computer to handle. I have a Titan RTX, so I can go 5 on no problem. Motion estimate type should always be better. Motion is small as our model is barely moving. In temporal threshold, unlinked luma and chroma, we have more chroma noise than luma right here. So just dial in based on your footage and how much denoising you want. I'm also going to use spatial NR as small sensor camera is usually very noisy. I am using enhance and media radius. Unlinked and only at chroma here, around half of the temporal NR value. We are also going to add sharpening in post as we always shoot in medium sharpening setting in our GoPro MAX. That's what I will recommend at least. And trust me, it looks a lot better when you add sharpening in post-production with Davinci Resolve. We will not have a real-time playback as this is a pretty extreme setting in a 5.7K video. So go ahead, just render it and bring it back into Premiere. Look at that! Premiere version, and here is the Davinci Resolve version. Now, you will not be afraid to push your creativity and use some of your favorites to the lot in 360. Let's talk about moving the camera in low light. The short answer is no, don't do that. You want to lock your 360 camera on a tripod. If you have to move it, you need a vibration damper right here. Let's take a look at my car rig right now. So right now, we have this brand new One X2. We're gonna mount this camera on the selfie stick, but then on my car mount. Now I'm gonna mount the Insta360 One X2 on my car, but I built this really secure car mount. So come over here, we can see we have 3 session cup, mount it into a 45 degree on my windshield, and then this thing can turn, it's turn, and then in here we have a vibration damper, because even though this have a really good stabilization, the Flowstate one, but it's when the car go really fast, it's still gonna vibrate up and down, and we can have this absorb up and down motion, so this will look super steady. So it's a Flowstate plus a vibration damper system right here. So we're gonna mount this on right here. So like a unicorn for my white Jeep, it's pretty dirty right now actually. So make sure everything is tight. Probably you tighten it here. Actually this should face that way. And that we get ourselves a unicorn car mount that is stabilized, then we can capture everything around the car. Besides vibration dampening, you also need to make sure your shutter speed is faster than 1/16 seconds. You are looking at some result right now shot on the Insta360 One X2 on a moving car with Flowstate stabilization and vibration dampening. To compare, here is a Qoocam AK Enterprise and here is Teche 360 Anywhere. They are both professional cameras in the $1,000 range. I think 360 Anywhere is the sharpest and with the most amount of details. But even that with an almost $4,000 VR camera, low light moving shots are not looking as good as Sony A7S or Canon R5 full frame sensor mirrorless camera. Here is footage from the Insta360 Titan. It is the only acceptable low light 360 camera out there, but operating a Titan is crazily expensive and most of the production will not be able to afford it. If you want to move the Titan with the rover in low light, just forget about it. As you see, the heavy Titan requires lots of vibration dampening in low light. So if you are shooting a low light 360 video, you should have a gaffer and you should add light. Lighting in 360 is a pretty complicated topic involving shooting and clean play, rigging, and shaping light. In my 360 filmmaking masterclass, which is coming soon, I go over all that in detail. It targets more professional audience or cinematographers. Comment below if you want to learn more about the pre-release date and want to get your hands on a copy. Back to the topic at hand. As you see this outdoor restaurant scene right here at night, shot entirely on the Insta360 ONE X2. It looks really good. The noise is minimum without even denoising. We add two lights in the scene. One is on the monopod with the brand new Bushman 360 halo. So you can't really see the light. It's stitched out by the camera automatically. One is on the table closer to the talents, so it acts as a practical light. It gives the talent's face even lighting all around, great for 360 scenes. Both Bushman set to 3200 Kelvin, so it gives a more natural looking color temperature. Adding light is also very important for 360 photography. As you see this 360 photo right here, we also use Bushman light on a monopod to light everybody up. Let's quickly switch gear to talk about 360 photography in low light. The new Pure Shot feature is really good for low light photography for absolute beginners. It is basically one button click and Insta360 AI does the rest for you in the mobile app. Here is the comparison with the Ricoh Theta Z1 and it looks pretty good. Z1 has really high noise that need to use dual fisheye plugin mode to minimize noise. HDR light dual fisheye is always gonna be better in low light than regular DNG light pure shot. But HDR requires everyone to stay still for a long time, which is not practical when you are photography human or moving subject. That is why ONE X2 is a very attractive camera for daily use, and it is definitely better than all the other consumer 360 camera like the GoPro MAX or One R in low light 360 photography. What about night shot, another feature in Insta360 ONE X2? When should you use pure shot and when should you use night shot? According to Insta360, pure shot is giving you more dynamic range and night shot will give you lower noise in low light. Here is night shot compared to pure shot. They both look good, but pure shot has fewer artifacts and a more accurate color representation. Night shot is using DNG image stacking technology to remove noise, so in the process will drift the color. Also, night shot took 9 times longer than pure shot, so it is also not ideal for capturing human. Good luck to ask your model to stand still for 30 seconds for a single photo. So pure shot is more practical as well. Thank you for watching. I hope you learned a lot today and ready to take on some low light 360 filmmaking challenge. 360 filmmaking and 360 photography requires lots of on-set experience and practice. You can watch my tutorial all day long, but the best way to master the skill is to get out there and use your brand new 360 camera. I am looking forward to seeing what you create. So please tag me on Instagram if you make anything interesting, fun in low light. If you need feedbacks, don't hesitate to comment on YouTube in comment down below. If you are new here, please consider subscribing and hit the notification bell for the latest 360 camera reviews and tutorial. Knowledge is power. I hope you keep learning from me and I will see you in the next tutorial or in VR. Ciao!